Exclusively.
What is this?
77 WABC.
Secretary Clinton, yes. Is that okay? Good. I want you to be very happy. Said it's the finest deal you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Well, Donald, I know you live in your own reality, but that is not the fact.
She doesn't have the look. She doesn't have the stamina. I said she doesn't have the stamina.
As soon as he travels to 112 countries and negotiates a peace deal, a ceasefire, he can talk to me about stamina. Let me say
there's nothing crazy about not letting our companies bring their money back into their country.
This is Secretary Clinton's 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, well, let's start the clock again, Lester. Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact-checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact-checking because, you know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Well, highlights from the past 2 debates. Lester Holt, really the first one, I think. I don't hear. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that because the "you'd be in jail" line was with Anderson Cooper and Martha Raddatz. So 2 debates in the books, and tonight, live from the city of sin, Las Vegas, Nevada, it is the 3rd and final debate for Trump supporters. They'll say the rubber match.
Yes, I would say the rubber match.
Of the 3. Me, I'm saying he lost the first 2 anyway. He's losing the election anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's an exciting night. It's a big night. It is the last big night before the big election, which is now just 20 days away. So with all that said, welcome back to the Bernie and Sid Show right here on legendary 77 WABC. And we got a ball game tonight, Bernard.
We do. We have a steel caged death match is what we have, and a lot on the line for our guy. It's do or die.
For our
it
guy,
really
for
is.
your guy.
That's true.
See, it's
talk about me and Florida.
Right. It's not really a death match in the respect that if, in fact, this was a close race and he didn't need a miracle, which others have said, to win, which is the case, then yes.
My friend Ed Rollins
said
that, who I actually had a long conversation with last night up at Fox. Yes, he says that Donald Trump needs a miracle.
Needs a miracle. So if this was a close race in the final 2+3 weeks, I would say it's a death match tonight. It's not. It's Donald Trump trying to live another day. Well, and all she has to do is show up, basically. Don't do anything really stupid, and she's going to win the election going away. That's it.
Perhaps. But in order to stay alive, it's going to be a death match because he needs to stay alive.
Right.
So that's why he will fight, and he'll do whatever it takes. I think he should come out with, it is Vegas. He should come out as an Elvis impersonator.
I love it.
With the big collar and the cape and the big glasses, the sideburns.
Why not?
And start singing Jailhouse Rock. You're going to the big house, mama.
He should.
I mean, give us a little flair. People would love you for it.
He's an entertainer anyway. He's a TV guy anywhere. He's got no chance of winning this election. You're right. Go out with some flair. And then, when in fact we start the new Trump TV network, that's how you open it up, baby, with Trump at the debate dressed as Elvis Presley.
That's right. The entertainer. So look, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Vince McMahon announce him, and Trump come out like as a wrestler.
Even better.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Or shave his head, or
do something crazy.
Yeah, but then Siegfried and Roy would come out with the Tigers, and Hillary would be riding the tiger, and that's.
Isn't one of those guys dead? And one of those guys get eaten by the tiger or something?
Yeah, he got...
Roy, I think.
He's alive, though.
Oh, he's alive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's half dead. he got mauled bad.
He did get
what they should do is with that, with that tiger is keep it in a cage. If one of the debaters, Trump or Hillary, they go over their time,
you let the tiger out.
You should you let the cage door go up. The longer they speak, you see the cage door and the tiger, and then they'll shut up and the cage goes back. The door goes back down.
When you walk through the lobby at the MGM Grand in Vegas, which is one of the places I stay most often when I cover the fight for HBO, they've got the tigers and the lions, behind glass, obviously, in the lobby of the MGM Grand. And of course, that one of Donald Trump's big supporters, a guy you and I both love, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. He's owned lions and tigers. And, in fact, you may remember, was in the scene with one of those animals in the great movie The Hangover.
The Hangover, yes. Lions and tigers and pigeons.
There you go. He does love all 3 of those. And white women. Just throw that in there.
Oh, my.
Love black women.
I love white women, too. And I love black women.
Right. So
and Puerto Ricans.
All of them.
and Asians and Indians. And I love them all.
What about the Hasidim? You love them?
You know what? Don't make me go there. Some of those poor girls, I see them on Saturdays walking up and down the boardwalk in Long Beach.
It's horrible.
They're pretty girls.
Right.
And they're wearing stuff
Sweaters
to cover themselves up.
They're ruined.
And I feel like they know.
I feel so bad.
And they feel sort of a little bit tortured. But,
absolutely.
Well, why even bring that up? Listen, speaking of tortured and women or whatever, Hillary Clinton yesterday in Manhattan, somebody put out one of the. Remember they had the Donald Trump nude statue?
Sure.
And it was out there, and everybody had a good laugh. It was out there in a couple of cities, actually. So yesterday in Lower Manhattan, down Bowling Green, they put out, some artists put out a nude Hillary statue.
Yeah.
With her breasts exposed, and she had goat legs on and stuff. But it wasn't up but an hour, and some furious Hillary Clinton supporter knocked it down.
Probably Sally Kohn was about to join us in studio in about 15 minutes.
Some woman.
Yeah.
And then the woman actually sat on the statue so the artist couldn't pick it back up. And then at one point she was actually sitting on Hillary's face.
Was she naked?
Love it.
Excuse me?
Was she naked, sitting on her face?
Well, no, but Hillary was naked, and just the imagery of the woman. It's in the paper.
Right.
It's in the newspaper of sitting on Hillary's face was it was disturbing.
Yeah,
and also they had a banker sort of, sucking at her TEET. Can you say?
Teats, yes.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
Because she's bought and paid for by the bankers, and they get favors from her. Mm-hmm. And then also they turned it around and they had a picture of fake Sid Rosenberg head right up her ass.
Well, you're funny.
It's unbelievable.
You are funny. Well, I'll be rooting tonight for her. There's no question. I just want this thing over with badly, so get him out of here. Let's move on. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, listen.
But
we have you guys just where we want you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Complacent.
Exactly.
And just, overconfident at this point.
But on a serious note, because this thing is over, and I don't expect you to wave the white flag and jump off. You're a loyal guy. You've been there from day one. You need to stick it out to the very end until, in fact, he loses that night. I get that, and I appreciate that. But it's over. And because of that, I'm going to tell you right now that I will not be watching this whole thing tonight. I will sneak over to the Rangers and Red Wings. I will sneak over to the Cubs and the Dodgers. I'll be sneaking all over the place because I know what's going to happen tonight. It's going to be him just bashing her at every single opportunity, her just smirking, and that's it. So we'll have a lot of good audio over the next couple of days for our show in his desperate attempt to stay alive. But what is he going to say tonight that's going to matter? Nothing.
You owe it to the audience to at least tape it and watch.
No, I'm going to watch most of it, but I will. I don't
want to argue with an ill-informed. Well, then again,
you've been doing that for 9 months.
What would be different? Yeah,
right. There you go.
That's an excellent point there, Sidney. Hey,
now I'll be cheating.
Excellent point there, Ralphie boy. There. Hey?
As soon as Trump starts to attack her with the same stupidity over and over again, Cubs, Dodgers.
Listen, I don't think. First of all, he won't. He's got to stick to the big issues that I think are winners for him: immigration, open borders, Obamacare, etc. But she
Can I stop you for a second?
She will go. She will go low. He'll go low first.
He can't talk about immigration without attacking her. That's his deal. You want open borders. You want to bring in 70 billion more Syrians.
That's okay.
That's his way of talking about it.
Substance is great. But as soon as she goes low, if she brings up racism, women, sexual predator, that's going low. And then he may take the bait, and I hope he doesn't.
Did you hear who he invited?
Yes, he's got one of the Benghazi moms will be there, but B,
which is again enough already with that.
President
nonsense.
Obama's half brother
who hates Obama. Right, we're aware of that.
Now you have a black Muslim who's an American citizen, and Obama's half brother, and he's supporting Donald Trump.
Like he hates his brother. Well, I don't know what happened in the family.
He actually doesn't hate his brother.
No, of course not.
Have cut 6 ready. Let's listen to Malik Obama. No, he doesn't hate him. He actually sounds rational. It sounds like he made a rational decision.
Come on. Don't tell me you're that naive. He hates his brother. If something happened in that family, if you're going to show up and sit there with Donald Trump, who knows? Maybe his brother didn't give him money. I have no idea. But don't tell me he doesn't hate his brother when he's sitting with the enemy tonight, Donald Trump. His brother is out there for Hillary Clinton, destroying Donald Trump, and his idiotic half-brother is going to be there in support of Donald Trump tonight.
Why can't a black man have his own opinion?
He can.
Take a listen.
You know, my brother became the president, and he made a lot of promises, and he was, riding on the promise of hope, and we had a lot of excitement, and we thought he would do a lot of things. But if you look at the Middle East right now, it's a mess. And there's people being killed all over the place. San Bernardino, over there in Florida and in France and in Brussels, and the situation in Iraq. I'm a Muslim, yes, but I don't condone the shooting and killing of innocent people in the name of Islam.
A lot of people say, where are the good Muslims? Let me tell you something.
This guy's not one of them. This is clearly a Marvin Gaye and his father's situation. He went to his brother for something. Barack said no, whatever it was. And now this guy's out there. He doesn't condone the shooting of innocent Muslims. Neither does his brother. His brother's an apologist.
Yeah, but no, his brother doesn't speak out. His brother is an apologist for the terrorists. You're right about that.
So what's he talking about?
He's talking about the fact that he's not an apologist.
He's jilted. He's angry about something that happened personally between him and his brother. Now, he has zero credibility.
You, of course, are speculating and projecting.
No, you got to be a moron not to think so. Of course, I don't know for a fact.
You got to be a psycho and a sick person, to think otherwise, to suspect that. I mean, it can't be.
A psycho? To go out and trash your own family member? I'm the psycho?
He didn't trash him.
Of course he
my
did.
brother's a bad guy.
Showing up tonight, he's trashing Barack Obama.
He's making a statement. He's a patriot.
He's trashing Barack Obama. He's got zero credibility.
We have a black Muslim patriot.
He asked his brother for money. His brother said no, and he said, okay, I'm going to go out there and support Donald Trump.
A black Muslim patriot, and what do? You kick him to the curb.
You
are an Islamophobic
angry,
racist.
Jilted, something going on with him and his brother.
Sick.
Shouldn't even play his audio on this show. It's embarrassing.
A poisonous, racist Islamophobe.
I'm a realist is what I am. And I've been that way for 9 months while you guys continue to live in your little Donald Trump dreamland, which, thank God, is about to explode and end in a couple of weeks. When it's all said and done, by the way, almost everything I said, the former sports guy, almost everything I said came true. All of it. And it's going to come to its final head in 2 weeks.
We will see in 2.5 weeks.
Okay, 20 days to be exact.
That's right. We're going to find out. But Malik, you are the man. 1-800-848-9222.
Malik, you're a scumbag.
9222. Sid, you're a racist, Islamophobic prick. Back after this.
77 WABC. Traffic and Transit.
On at the road.
Like I say, Donald Trump, when I sat there and I saw that announcement by the FBI director, and in my mind I just said, this is just a farce, something really going on here that I don't like. And Donald Trump, he speaks from his mind, and he's straightforward.
Back on the Bernie and Sid show on 77 WABC. That is President Obama's half-brother, Malik Obama, a black Muslim from Kenya who is an American citizen who will be Donald Trump's guest tonight at the big showdown in Vegas, the debate tonight.
You love the guy. He'd never be here, of course, if Donald Trump was president because, A, he's black, and B, he's Muslim. Two things Donald Trump doesn't like to begin with.
That's what Trump is going to take care of the people who are already here, including immigrants.
This is fantastic. I'm going to change my
vote. In fact,
vote.
we have Yosef from Middletown, who is he's a Muslim from Nigeria.
Good man.
Good morning, Yosef.
Yes, good morning, Barney and Sid. Yes, my name is Yusuf. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a Muslim, and I will vote for Trump for two reasons.
Go ahead.
The first reason why I will vote for Trump is Hillary Clinton is endangering all Americans that live in this country. She's playing with our life by bringing more Syrian refugees in here, even though the high said they're going to embed themselves in there. So I don't want to go to the mall and some stupid come out of nowhere saying hello, husband, and blow me up, or my wife. I don't want my wife going to the mall and somebody blow them up. I don't want my daughter and my grandchildren, going to the mall and somebody blowing them up. If we want to do, I'm a Muslim, I do my zakat, doing charity, and I do my zakat, and I do my, and I do all other charity work. If we want to do good, I want to help these people, and I'm also helping the Syrian refugees. We should go over there, have the no-fly zone, and pour money and help them over there. We cannot be endangering our life. That's not right.
Help them over there.
That's why I'm going for Trump. The second reason why I'm going for Trump.
Before you go to the second one, Yosef, did you say a-hole?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure because I never heard a Nigerian Muslim immigrant say a-hole. I like it. So number 2 is what? Go ahead, Yosef.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Nobody's an Indian. I'm not perfect. But I'm a Muslim, and I try to follow, the Islamic law. You cannot endanger your whole life. God did not tell you that you should put your life in danger to help other people. You have to help other people. You must always help other people. Whether you're a Muslim, Christian, Jew, we're all the same thing. You have to do good. The way you want to do good to help these people, and I believe in helping these people, is to go over there, no-fly zone.
There you go.
For money, to help them. We cannot put our life in danger. I think these politicians have no regard for everybody that lives in this country by trying to do this. They have no respect for her. They have to have respect for her. We're human beings too. You cannot put our life in danger because we want to do good. Want to do good? Yes, I believe in doing good. Let's put a lot of money over there. And
well said, Yosef.
It was?
Make America great.
It was what the hell he said. It was well said about it.
All I know is I love.
He wants a no-fly zone, which is what Hillary Clinton wants, by the way. And he said, make things good.
I love the sentiment. I love the fact that he's a patriot. He's a Muslim immigrant.
I love the fact that he's voting for Donald Trump, but yet he's pumping up what Hillary Clinton wants. That's my type of caller.
People are saying, where are the good Muslims? And you find them right here on the Bernie and Sid show.
That's right.
On WABC. And Daniel from Long Island, though, he has this to say. Daniel, good morning.
Okay, who's shooting up the mall? The percentage is white people that going up to the mall. So we should start searching white people when they come into the mall because they don't know who's shooting up the place up.
What do you want to do? You want to throw the white people out of the country? Is that what you want to do?
They should do a search them. They should start frisking them like they do to the black and Hispanic.
Who disagrees with that? So what's your point?
No, I'm just saying, but they're only doing it to the blacks and the Muslims. And you're worrying about Muslims, white people that shooting up movie theaters.
All right, but you can't throw white people out because they're already here. You can't throw people who live here out. But you can stop people from coming in who might be dangerous. You can do that.
Well, he's saying, but there are white people like the guy at the movie theater in Lafayette, Indiana, white, the shooting guy in Colorado, white. So maybe we should let white people in from anywhere around the world.
Well, we should. Maybe we should kill them all. Who cares? Kill all the terrorists. But listen, to bring people in who are potentially dangerous is stupid. That is stupid.
Well, anybody can be potentially dangerous. That's even dumber.
Well, but if you have statistics to show that one particular group is more dangerous than others, you've got a load of
statistics. You've got a load of them.
You certainly do.
One of every million people, and I know even one is too many. No, that's not the way it works in real life and in politics. One is not too many when, in fact, you're talking about banning a whole group of people. It doesn't work that way.
Take the blinders off. 1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid back after Noam.
And Sid now. 800-848-WABC. Where New York comes to talk. 77 WABC.
Tomorrow night's going to be interesting. Now, she's home sleeping and I'm working, so that's the way. It's the way it's going to be in the White House, too. She'd be sleeping, I'd be working. Sort of funny, she's been doing this for 30 years. Now she has to do debate prep for 5 days. You know what the debate prep is? It's resting. It's lying down, going to sleep.
Maybe you should try it then. Working for him.
Back on the Bernie and Sid show on 77 WABC. Fired up. Donald Trump going to be fighting for his life tonight, his political life.
Rigor mortis has already set in. He's going to fight. He's going to fight hard. He'll be entertaining. But that patient is long dead. Yiskadah v'yiskadah shemei rabo. That's the mourner's prayer.
Speaking Chinese
He's
here.
done. That's Hebrew close enough.
Hey, listen, on the line with us right now, we have a one able advocate, a surrogate, I would imagine, for Hillary Clinton. Her name is Sally Kohn. She's a political commentator, a community organizer, and a CNN person. Sally Kohn, good morning.
Good morning. Not a Hillary surrogate, however.
Not a surrogate.
No, she was in fact, if I remember, when you first came on with us, this is your third time on with us. We love you. You're great.
I love you guys, too.
Thank you. You were very enthusiastic about Bernie Sanders. You've kind of been forced to go with Hillary in this case. Isn't that right?
Well, forced wouldn't be the word I would use. I think all along when I endorsed Bernie, I said this in my in the speech I gave in Prospect Park that I agree with Hillary on 90% of things, as does Bernie. Bernie said the same thing. So this isn't the and I was proud to support Bernie Sanders. I think he played an important role in the primary. I think he's going to play an important role going forward. I think he helped push Hillary on some important issues, and one of the reasons I felt very confident in after the primary turning to endorse her is because she listened. I mean, it's so nice to have a politician who is actually listening to what people are saying, what people want when it comes to trade and economic issues.
Wait, who's this?
So,
Hillary?
hey, that's the woman I'm voting for.
She's listening to the people on trade and stuff. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's what I said, man.
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
totally,
fine.
Yeah.
So listen,
Yeah.
so are you upset as being a former Bernie Sanders supporter now that you know the way the DNC and the Clinton campaign colluded to screw the old socialist Bernie Sanders?
Well, when the DNC emails those came out, showing with Debbie Wasserman Schultz bias, etc. Way back in what was that, July? I was upset, not surprised. I think, again, same reaction most Bernie people had. But look, the DNC handled it well. There was accountability, again, look, we could go, and I'm more than happy to talk about the experience, the commitment to working families, the commitment to middle-class tax cuts, creating jobs, that Hillary Clinton and her plan, debt-free college, actually helping, doing the things that help working families like paid family leave. But in contrast to Donald Trump and the nothing burger that he's offering, plus the $7 trillion in tax breaks for millionaires and trillionaires, that's going to cost jobs and increase the deficit, I feel even more confident with my choice.
Well, let's do this, Sally, before you delve into those things in more detail, because I'm sure Bernard is going to press you on a bunch of those.
I welcome it.
Yes, unless you believe these hysterical Trump supporters about this ridiculous Brexit vote that's out there for Donald Trump, the silent majority. Nonsense. He's losing this election. He's losing badly. Knowing that going into tonight's third and final debate, if you're a Hillary Clinton, what do you do?
Look, here's the thing, and I've run into Democrats and even honestly, I have a lot of Republican friends on air and off air who really do not want Trump to win, and they are feeling cautiously optimistic, and I'm happy to be feeling that way too. But the simple fact is, it is not over until it's over. And I'll be honest, I never expected Trump to make it this far, and I still didn't expect him to have the durability of support he's had after all of the unimaginably, not just offensive, but disqualifying things he said, plus his complete lack of seriousness around any meaningful policy solutions whatsoever. I still can't believe that more than 40% of the country is saying they're going to vote for him. So this is not over until it's over. Nobody should rest on their laurels. I expect Hillary Clinton to fight hard and show her credentials and seriousness and qualifications tonight.
Well, despite all his negatives, the fact of the matter is, on the big issues, he resonates with a lot of people, which is immigration. I mean, I'm talking about Muslim immigration, the Syrian refugees in particular, and her dream of open borders, which scares the hell out of people, that she's going to be the Angela Merkel of the United States. And so what is her position? You say not true. What is her position on the border? Does she want a secure border or not?
Of course she does. Look, I mean,
oh, really?
First of all, Hillary Clinton's position on immigration is the same position that John McCain once held, that George W. Bush once held,
which is why they're not running right now, which is why Jeb Bush
No, but I mean, in other words, let's not call it some, listen, we can argue about, I'm not going to disagree with you about where Trump supporters are vis-a-vis immigration. I'm going to say I think it's wrong, ahistorical, and immoral, but I'm not going to disagree with you factually. But let's not misrepresent Hillary's position as some extreme, radical
Sally,
outstep.
by the way, forget about the prior presidents you just mentioned.
Stood for.
I know, and by the way, if you're watching this every single day, Trump went from banning everybody. He came to realize that was stupid, not going to happen. If you're really watching and listening, they're both saying the same thing: extreme vetting, extreme vetting, extreme vetting. So even Trump supporters can't bash Hillary because they're kind of saying the same thing.
So let me ask you.
Yeah, but they're not saying the same thing. There's no way you're going to characterize what he said about smearing all Muslims. 30%.
No, he did say that initially.
30% of the world's population, and he wants to summarily ban them, including the Muslims who are fleeing ISIS. Come on.
I'm endorsing Hillary, just so you know. I'm endorsing Hillary, just so you know. But the fact is, he's come around on that, and now he's talking about extreme vetting, which is exactly what Hillary has said all along. So it's silly for Trump supporters to question her immigration policy. They've got the same. Yes, it's the same policy.
So,
Well, let me ask you this, Sally. Hillary Clinton is all for quadrupling the number of Syrian refugees and others coming in. And again, this open border, she dreams of open borders. That came from the transcripts of a Goldman speech to a Brazilian bankers. And the question I have for you is this, including these Syrian refugees. I mean, they're indigent, so they're gonna compete with the working poor, fast food workers, janitorial workers, service workers. They're going to compete for those jobs and for the same available social services. How does that help the working poor here in this country when we don't have any money to spend it on these folks that she wants to bring in and allow in unfettered?
Okay, so first of all, it's not unfettered is not the case. We're talking both about numerical limits and about vetting. So that's a misrepresentation to say it's unfettered, number one. Number two, first of all, let's separate immigration from refugees. Now, immigrants from refugees. And let's be clear that according to multiple studies, including nonpartisan and bipartisan studies, immigrants who are coming to the United States to seek work opportunities and better opportunities for their family help the American economy. They help the American economy. They contribute overall more in taxes than they're using in social services, including education.
You're talking about illegal immigrants.
I'm talking about undocumented immigrants.
Yes, right. You're right. You may be right about that. So you want more of that?
So I'm just saying, but I'm saying let's be clear that we're not saying that when immigrants come here, the sort of competition over jobs thing is not.
They still take jobs. They take the jobs.
They're doing jobs that the American people do not want to do. Again, studies. Don't listen to me.
That's an insult. That's an insult.
Well,
that's an insult to the inner city people.
It's true. No, it's not. It's true.
That's
true.
That's
insult.
an awful thing to say.
Sally,
I'm outraged.
He's not outraged. You're 1,000% right. I'll tell you something else.
Can we go back to the refugees?
Sure.
Look, the history of the United States has been about being engaged in a not always perfect, often deeply problematic, but hopefully helpful way in the world. And we've tried to be. I think we've prided ourselves. Part of our pride as Americans comes from being a beacon of freedom and justice around the world. And look,
but not suckers.
Wait. There have been times when my immigrant ancestors came to this country as refugees from Germany and Russia. And there were a lot of people in this country who didn't even want us to do that, who the anti-Semitism was huge, who didn't even want us to get involved in the war.
Same here with the Irish.
Right? And we now look at this, exactly, we look at these as proud moments in our history that built who we are. We created ISIS. I don't care which president you want to blame, but had there not been a war in Iraq, there would not have been a power vacuum that led to ISIS.
Agreed.
We have this responsibility. These are people fleeing as a direct result of our foreign policy, and we have a responsibility to play a positive and productive role.
Not if they hate us.
Sally Kohn joining Bernie and Sid right here. You see Sally often on CNN. Does a terrific job. I think one of my main issues with this election, just so you know, I tepidly endorsed Donald Trump initially, but he has turned me off so much in the last couple of months that I can't stand the guy. And the fact that he even has a chance to win, I think, is insulting for our country with all of Hillary's issues. Amen. And she's got plenty. And one of my issues is the way they mischaracterize Hillary. Like Bernard just talked about. Both of them are asking for extreme vetting, yet you would think that she wants to let everybody in, he wants to let nobody in. Same thing with the health care. Look, I'm the guy that gets screwed by Obamacare. I make just enough money where my deductibles are through the roof. It's killing me, Obamacare. But they will tell you that she loves it. And that is not true. She has said time and time again there are things I like about Obamacare, which include millions of people getting coverage, and there are things that are no good about Obamacare, including the deductible issue. So she wants to fix something that is broken. She never said she loves it. But ask a Trump supporter, they'll tell you she loves Obamacare.
Well, look, I would, give my right arm if we could finally. Not my right arm. I really like my right arm. Maybe my left.
Maybe the left.
I would give an arm if we could finally talk about policy substance in this election. There was one study that was done that at least through July, I think, only 11% of media coverage around the election was related to issues. That's pathetic. And to be honest, part of the issue, let's be clear, is that Donald Trump is just spreading blatant lies and misrepresentations. I have to be honest, and guys, I went to a Trump rally recently. I went last week, and the overwhelming feeling I had was sadness, because these are good people. They are good people who want good lives for themselves and their kids. And in some cases, I don't want to mischaracterize or smear Donald Trump. In some cases, he is shooting straight with them, but. Politico did a study. He tells a lie, a downright incontrovertible lie, every 3 minutes and 15 seconds he speaks. And there he is standing on the stage saying, Hillary's going to raise your taxes, I'm going to cut them. That's not true. That's just not true based on what he has proposed. And he's telling people lies about Hillary Clinton, and they're believing them. And that's
Sally,
dangerous.
We are out of time, but I would say on the Obamacare, it's a disaster. Hillary knows it's a disaster, but the difference between her and Trump is that you and Hillary both want single payer, which would be great, but we don't have the money for it. Trump wants to go back to private insurance, no competition between. Open it up to state lines. No borders. That's what he wants. There's a difference, but it is a disaster. But we have to go.
It's been fun, guys.
That's the difference.
Nice to talk to
you. Hey,
Sally
Kohn,
Kohn,
thank you very much. A good sport. We appreciate you from CNN and other places.
Bernie. This is Sid Rosenberg.
The one and only Sid.
Live, local, on it.
You never know what's going to happen.
Exclusively.
Party and Sid.
77 WABC.
Woo!
Mike and the Mechanics.
This is funny. This is supposed to mean something?
Well, Trump needs a miracle. I'm not even sure that'll help, but that's, at the very least, that's what Ed Rollins told you, right? He needs a miracle, is that right?
That's what he told me last night. He has been making the rounds saying that as well on various media venues. And, things are not looking good. The chips are down.
Yeah.
But I ain't waving the white flag.
No, you're not.
Yet.
No, you're courageous. We are back here, hour number 2.
I mean, why give up now? What the hell?
I remember still going to Marv Albert after our fight, And hour number 2 of the Bernie and Sid show on 77 WABC. And he came on my show in Florida. And he said, I remember it well. It was Don Imus production, Bernard McGurk versus Sid Rosenberg. And, you took a pretty good beating that night, And I said, well, yeah, but, Mike Breen said after the fight that was very courageous. And my answer to Mike Breen was, well, maybe, but it was also stupid. And Marv Albert's answer was, yes, a combination of both.
Okay.
And that's how I would describe Trump supporters who are not waving the white flag because they're loyal, they're courageous.
What's the option? To give up? Why?
There's no reason to.
Why give up until the fight's over?
That's right.
I mean, it'd just be stupid, futile, and
Agreed.
Listen, we have a guest on the line right now. We have a very amusing, witty guys. The Fox News. He's a Fox News digital politics editor. He also has a show with Dana Perino.
We love Dana
on Fox News on the weekends called "I'll Tell You What." He's been all over the place. He's very funny, very smart guy. Chris Stirewalt, thank you for coming on the Bernie and Sid show.
You guys' expectations way too high. I needed the wit, the humor. I can't deliver on that. You need to.
You see, he's humble too. On top of it all, he's humble. I love that. I love this guy,
and he's smart. That's what you got to do. You got to make it. You lower the expectations. It's kind of like what it's kind of like, Chris, and Bernard's not going to like this, but after the second debate, Trump supporters were going nuts. He was absolutely tremendous. He was spectacular. He was stellar. No, he wasn't. He can never be that good on a debate stage because he's just not prepared. He's got some cute one-liners and all that nonsense. He can never be great on a debate stage. But when your expectations are low and you just want to keep your campaign alive, you use those adjectives to describe what basically was an okay performance. Does that make sense?
Okay. Expectations have everything to do with debates. Everything to do with debate.
That's right.
And Trump, coming into the second debate, had low expectations because people said, boy, the first debate didn't go so hot, and how's it going to be? So he did beat expectations. And a lot of Republicans were really pleased with his performance because he did something that they had wanted somebody to do for 25 years, which was stick it right in Hillary Clinton's face, attack her, brutal, savage, relentless attacks on her about her husband's misconduct with women, about Benghazi, about blah, blah, and just attack. And you talk to Republicans after the debate, they were super satisfied. They said, yeah, that's great. And then you look at the polls. And what did it do to the race? What did it do for Trump in the race?
Nothing.
And a win in a debate, who cares about winning the debate? You want to win the election. What Donald Trump needs tonight is to surprise. He's going to have tough with Chris Wallace doing the questions. He's not going to be able to slide by with just jokes and repartee. He's going to have substantive answers. So he can surprise in that way. And the other way that he can surprise is to show humility, to show kindness, to be a nice guy, and maybe be a little sorry and maybe connect with some voters.
Now, Chris Stirewalt on the Bernie and Sid show, Ed Rollins, the famed political analyst, he's going around saying that it takes a miracle. It will take a miracle for Trump to win. But Fox News has Donald Trump down just 6 points nationally after a horrific 2 weeks. And, of course, Trump's going around citing Brexit. And things could happen. God forbid a terror attack, or, God forbid, horrible things. So it really is not over at this point, or is it?
Well, okay. So every day you get closer to the election, there are fewer and fewer available voters. People make up their minds. They get set. So here we are, we're 3 weeks away. Where were we 3 weeks ago? The race was close. It was almost tied. A lot was possible, right? We were down at a 1.5 or 2 point margin on an average of polls. Now that's like 7 or 8 points. So that we had that much swing in the course of 3 weeks. Could we have a similar swing in the last 3 weeks? Yeah, it's possible. It's harder to do, but it's definitely possible.
I would ask you this. It looks like he's going to lose. It's possible, sure. And like Bernard said, something could happen, God forbid, to her or something to the country, sure. That can change the whole. But really, there's nothing really out of the crazy that can happen where he's going to win. There really is nothing, if you're going to be honest about this. So with that said, if in fact he does lose, Chris, his supporters will say, well, he lost because of the media. He lost because of the media bias. He lost because, like he's been saying, the election is rigged. I'll say this, and I'm obviously endorsing Hillary. I thought he had a chance to win this, and I think he handled himself so poorly. He never got better with substance. He's had the same 3 core points for 19 months. He's never really prepared himself for this job. And in my estimation, if he does lose this, he lost this. Not the rigged election, the media. And I agree there is a media bias against him, but I think if he loses, he's the reason why he lost. What do you think?
So the worst thing that I can really imagine for the country coming out of this election is that Donald Trump loses narrowly, right? He loses by a 0.5 point. He loses by 10,000 votes in Florida. And that he continues the charge that the election is wrong, that it was stolen, right? And then we go, he says they're going to steal the election. Now, when you're 10 points back in Pennsylvania, they don't have to steal any elections in Philadelphia, right? You're just losing. So if it's a close election and it's embittering and he does not accept the result and his supporters don't accept the result, this starts to become a crisis.
True.
So that's there. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have a decisive election. I think it's going to be clear. And then we have a serious question. And, I wrote this the other day, which is Hillary Clinton is closing her campaign with an argument. Her closing argument is that Donald Trump is a lech and a creep. That means that she's failed as a candidate. Now, he's failed more, not as much as him. She hasn't failed as much as him. Failed as a candidate, too, because she hasn't articulated a vision to govern on. And so we are walking into a situation where the front runner in this race right now doesn't have a platform other than not being the other guy.
Right. That's her whole strategy, is to attack Donald Trump. That's it. And so, Chris Stirewalt, by the way, the show is called I'll Tell You What. It's on the weekends. It's a very enjoyable show. And there's a podcast by the same name. In fact, that's how it started.
That's the truth. And somehow Fox thought it would be a good idea to give us a show. And fortunately, it's with Dana Perino, and everything she does is lovely and amazing.
It really is. She must be fun to work with. Brilliant girl. Former Bush spokesperson, Dana Perino, and Chris Stirewalt. I'll Tell You What on the weekends. Check it out. But listen, again, her strategy is just to attack Trump. So, being the astute political analyst that you are, and I can't decipher who you're supporting because you hold it close to your vest, whatever it is. I don't think you like Trump, but who's better on the issues? I mean, on Muslim immigration, Syrian refugees, open borders, Obamacare. Who does Chris Stirewalt think is better on the issues?
I don't care.
Why not? You're a citizen.
That's the voter's job. My job is I'm the weatherman. I can tell you when the hurricane's coming. I'm not rooting for the hurricane, but I just tell you how it goes. And I try to keep myself out of it as much as I possibly can because it would affect my analysis. And especially when you're in close races, if you are not diligent as an analyst, I got to deal with the facts and I got to deal with the numbers. If you're not diligent, you can let your own feelings slip in and affect the outcome of your analysis. So
Sure.
I got to stay clean.
Sure. Plus the fact you want as many people watching you and Dana as possible, and if I'm endorsing Hillary and I find out you like Trump, I may or may not, it depends how mature I am, watch your telecast. You don't want to take that chance. I understand that. I would say this, but I would say this, Chris, in a bigger picture here, okay? Right. And I keep going to Trump losing because, again, outside of a miracle, I agree with Ed Rollins, he can't win this. He cannot win. So with that said, there's a lot at stake here for the GOP. Sure. You're talking about the House. You're talking about the Senate. You're talking about the future of the party. I mean, this will be now 12 years, basically, of Democratic rule, and it may even get to the House and the Senate. A Trump loss, and maybe even a bad loss in a couple of weeks, what does that mean for the future of the GOP?
So do you remember 1988?
Yeah.
1988, the Democratic Party lost its third consecutive election and was in tatters. Michael Dukakis got destroyed, lost 40 states. The party was, what's the point of the Democratic Party? No one would have guessed. They were just 4 years away from a Democratic renaissance that they hadn't seen since FDR, right? That Bill Clinton and the New Democrats and that thing was about to happen, and that they beat George H.W. Bush, serve 2 terms, and leave office with high approval. Nobody saw that in 1988. In politics, the same thing happens over and over and over again, which is you have to get all the way down sometimes to start to back up. And that's how it is for us in life, but it's definitely how it is for political parties. In 1988, Democrats weren't ready. They couldn't handle it. They nominated the wrong person. They blew up. They lost a generationally good chance to take the White House, and they screwed up. They learned their lesson, and they came back in 4 years. The Republicans learned their lesson in 1996. And they came back in 2000, and they won. So it happens. And as James Carville says, and it's very true, you are never as far down as you think you are, and you're never as far up as you think you are.
And what you just said, Chris Stirewalt, is on the Bernie and Sid show, and which is what I'm hearing, which is why Trump supporters are so furious, is that a lot of these never Trumper people, Mitt Romney and even Paul Ryan, they're thinking ahead. They're saying, let Hillary win. They're thinking ahead to 2020. They won't say it, but that's exactly what their plan is, to allow Hillary to get in, who will, by the way, pick probably 4 Supreme Court justices. And in 2020, I wouldn't count on a Republican getting, her being the incumbent, getting that. But that's what makes Trump supporters so furious, is what the analysis you just gave us.
Well, the Trump supporters are going to be furious about a lot of stuff. If the polls hold, if the trajectory of this race doesn't change starting tonight, if he doesn't find a new gear and a new register that he can deal in starting tonight, if this is what it looks like, and that's a loss about the size of 1988, if that's what happens, then the Trump supporters are going to be angry at a lot of people, and the Republicans are going to be angry with each other. Conservatives are going to be angry at Trump people, never Trumpers, and all of this stuff. This is an ugly fight that has to take place. But I would say that it's like a family. And a political party has to have these things out from time to time, right? Consensus can build, and you can have it, and everybody can deal with it. But then every so often, you've got to have it out. And the Republicans just have to have it out. They have to fight this out, and they also have to see who are the people who rise, right? What rises up out of this turmoil, and what's the vision? And the vision for the Republicans in the future has to include some of Trump's populism and some of his positions when it comes to immigration and national security. There are good message points there for Republicans who have struggled in recent elections, especially with Romney, with blue-collar voters, right? Regular Joe Sixpack voters who they need. They struggled with them. Trump connects with those voters. The Republicans need to find a way to take that message, but then do it in a way that lets them have a conversation with suburban voters, especially women, so you don't lose an election by 8 points.
All right, Chris, 60 seconds we got to run. 2 quick answers I need from you. One of them, do you believe Trump supporters are banking on this Brexit deal, that they're so stigmatized or afraid to tell you they're voting for Donald Trump? Do you believe there's a legitimate amount of those that can get him the win? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, either do I. It's nonsense. Secondly, it's complete nonsense. With that said, these are both candidates that nobody likes. I mean, I hate to say it, but they're both unlikable. So with that said, right. So do you think, Chris, that a lot of folks will stay home election day because they don't like Hillary or Donald?
Well, I think that a lot of folks are terrified of this election and terrified of the outcome. And the country is sad right now that some horrible thing's going to happen. What I want to say is this. Here's my bias. My bias is this is going to be okay. This is my personal belief. This is going to be okay. This election's going to be okay. This country's going to be okay. It's all going to be fine. But the reason I think that you're going to see pretty substantial voter turnout is that people are terrified that it won't. They're horrified of the other person. They're horrified of the other party, and they believe that America is circling the drain, and this makes all the difference. And I want to tell them, it's not so. This country is okay because America is not its politics. It's not its politicians. America is Americans.
You see, Chris Stirewalt, we had, high expectations from the start, and they were met.
Oh,
they were met by you. And listen, let me ask you this. A final question. You're from the South. You're a funny, witty guy, a very, very happy guy. You live in New York City. How do you like, where are you from in the South?
I'm from the South. I'm from West Virginia. I'm a hillbilly.
Oh, okay.
Okay. How do you like the big city?
I live in Washington. I come
you do?
to New York to do, I'll tell you, with Dana Perino, and I noticed that everything is smaller and more expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, for a mountaineer to go to even Washington is a big deal. Even if it's not New York, I mean, Washington compared to West Virginia is night and day.
I know, and you're talking to somebody who grew up on the North Fork of Short Creek in Ohio County, West Virginia.
Oh my God!
So it is different, but it is lovely, especially because I get to work with the people at Fox News, people like Chris Wallace, and who's going to do a fantastic job at the debate tonight with Brett Baer, with Greg Hume, with Dana Perino, with Megyn Kelly. So I work with the best people, and I love what I do.
Hey,
awesome.
Listen, Chris Stirewalt, the show is I'll Tell You What with Dana Perino. It runs on the weekends on Fox News, 5 p.m., usually on Sundays. Check your local listings. Chris Stirewalt, thank you for appearing with Bernie and
You
Sid.
were great. Thank you, Chris.
Y'all have a great day.
You too. Great job.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. They see that was the West Virginia right there at the very end.
There you have it.
Y'all.
Good guy,
He
smart
said
guy.
y'all.
Y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
We're back. Bernie and Sid.
The WABC radio app. Download it now. Upload the BS. 77 WABC.
What he should not do is come out and say, hello, Crooked Hillary. I'm glad they successfully medevac you out to Vegas and for this debate. God bless. And we don't want it to look perturbed and make those Ralph Cramton like faces and all of this.
You wouldn't ask for a urine sample, though, for Hillary.
I would bring out a urine cup just for laughs and then fling it at her.
Just for laughs.
And don't say bang, zoom, go to the moon while you're making these Ralph Cramton faces. Don't do that.
That was great. That was you, my main man, my partner Bernard McGurk on Bill O'Reilly last night, courtesy of Fox, and you were great. You know, it's funny. I just got
making me blush.
No, I just got a text. I swear to you, I was going to show it to you. I had no idea you were going to come back with that audio.
I didn't either.
All right, so Tanyan Sturtz, popular pitcher for the New York Yankees for a couple of years in the early 2000s, literally just texted me. He lives in Boca Raton now. So
we had him on once.
Yes, we did have him on, and he said, "Hey, man, say hello to Bernie. I watch him every Tuesday night. He was great last night. I swear." And then you played that piece.
How do you like that?
How about that?
Tanyan, my boy.
A big Trump guy. Big Trump guy.
We got to get him back on.
Yells at me all the time. But you know what? When I put the thing up on my Facebook page to donate money to the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute for Danielle's run for the Boston Marathon.
Yes.
First got to give $100.
He's right there.
Right there.
Good dude. No,
good man.
He was a very good guest for us, and we definitely, sincerely should have him back on.
Yes.
And so we just had Chris Stirewalt on, and he said he confirmed what I suspected and what a lot of Trump supporters suspect.
What's that?
Is that the people like Paul Ryan and these guys, they want Hillary to win. They actually want Hillary Clinton to win.
You've asked that question of Bill O'Reilly on this show, of Imus, other people. I think it's a really fair question. They've all, without hesitation, said, no, I don't think they wanted to lose. I think you're right. I think they really do want their own candidate to lose. I really do.
They essentially, they want Hillary Clinton to win, but they don't, unlike you, and I've said this about you, you've had the integrity to put your neck out there and say, yeah, I'm supporting Hillary Clinton because I don't like Donald Trump. I hate Donald Trump. And you say it, but they won't say that. The dishonesty it just kills me. It kills us.
Fair.
The fake phony. Yeah, no, I'm supporting Trump. Oh, yeah, sure. No, you're not. You're a liar. You undermine him at every turn. And just have the honesty and the integrity to say that you're supporting Hillary Clinton.
Fair.
Say it. And by the way, it's the disaster to do so, in my opinion. Obviously, you don't think so.
No, I know. Right.
But you think she's the lesser of two evils?
Right.
She's a major evil. I mean, again, 4 Supreme Court picks, dreaming of open borders, just disastrous. But whatever.
We've been over the open borders thing, haven't we?
They
both want extreme cutting. You got to stop it.
The upshot is, have the integrity and
I
the
agree with
honesty
you.
to say who you're supporting.
I would say this, too. Chris said on the way out, and I'm always saying this. You know I am, Bernard. I'm consistent. This hysteria. Americans are hysterical. The country is falling apart. We're being taken over. They're going to come kill us, and taxes and jobs. And Chris on the way out said, listen, folks, no matter who wins, we're going to be okay. All right? This is still the greatest country in the world. Excuse me, by a long distance, we're going to be okay. I was happy he said that because I have said that time and time again. And the one thing you'd have to admit is a lot of, not you, but Trump supporters come out with this hysterical notion like the country's going to literally fall apart tomorrow if, in fact, he doesn't win. That is complete nonsense.
It won't fall apart tomorrow, but it is a slow process of crumbling, and you just have to look at Europe.
Crumbling is a stretch. You may think things aren't good.
It's slow. No, I'm not a doomsday guy. I don't think I'm going to be fine the day after the election if it's President-elect Hillary Clinton.
Right.
I'll be fine. I won't like it. But it's just one step in the downfall of this country. Just look at Europe. Socialized governments. Some of the immigration crisis that they have in Sweden, for example, in Brussels, in Paris, some of these places. And granted, it's not going to happen here overnight.
No,
but it can happen.
I guess.
And also the debt that we have, that she wants a free tuition for. I mean, who's going to pay for this crap? She wants single payer health care. How the hell are you going to pay for it? You want to bring in all these indigent Syrian refugees. How the hell are we going to pay for it? You have homeless veterans out there. Let's take care of our own first. That's my opinion. We're going to Johnny from New Jersey. Johnny, you're on with Bernie and Sid. Good morning, Johnny.
Hey, how are you? Thanks. I want to make a couple points. One is what you just said. We got to take care of our own first. And for some reason, the American people get brainwashed real fast. They had 17 professional politicians up there. They ended up with a non-politician, which is Donald Trump. They're worried about something he said 15 years ago, which makes no sense, stupidity. But they're not thinking about what's going to happen when she gets elected and just goes on her daily routine. And meanwhile, we're still doing the same thing. People just no work, suffering, same old things, kids living with their parents. What happens with that?
It's a definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, electing the same people, bought and paid for, open borders, globalists, endless wars, same crap.
That's what I'm saying. So the news just makes a joke out of it because it's jobs for them. The more jokes, the more money for you guys. But meanwhile, the reality at the bottom of the line, she gets elected, she's gone. Bye-bye, guys, thanks. And these American people just get brainwashed. And the worst thing is the people that are doing worse are going more to...
Right, they don't realize it. That's right, you're right about that.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Johnny. Johnny, stop. Let me stop for a second. Can I stop for a second?
People are tired of...
Oh, Christ, shut up. I'm begging you.
We're tired.
Please. Why are we brainwashed? If we disagree with you, first of all, we're not stupid, okay? A lot of us are very smart people. We don't care about the Billy Bush tapes. Hold on. We made up our minds about Donald Trump well before the Billy Bush tapes, when in fact he has not had one decent answer on any of the issues. He's got 2 or 3 core things he says.
Some of them,
Johnny, hold on.
I'm worried about my wallet. I'm worried about my family.
Okay, well, he hasn't said a damn thing in the last 19 months.
By the way, I'm Barres, so I'm worse than you guys. But
he hasn't said a thing in the last 19 months. It makes me believe he's going to help you or me for that matter, in my wallet. Not one thing.
I would disagree with that. I'm talking about these open borders, that it's going to help you with your wallet. It's going to help the country.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
If you bring in indigent people, bring in hordes of indigent people, it only hurts the country. Be smart about your immigration. You be smart. Bring in people who are going to be constructive, who are going to help the country. We bring in
people that are constructive because the goddamn Americans are so lazy they don't want to work.
We've been a benevolent country, a beacon, a shining light, and all that stuff. But at some point, you reach critical mass.
We're not there
and
yet.
And then you become.
We're not there.
You reach a peak, and then you start declining.
We're not there. I would worry more about the American work ethic right now than some of the other immigrants that come here and actually don't mind shoveling the crap off the streets for $8 an hour. While
Listen,
Americans are very happy smoking weed and watching SpongeBob in their Bronx apartment every single night.
I have all the respect for the immigrants that are here and the illegal immigrants that are already here. In fact, they're my in-laws. They're my relatives from El Salvador.
You talk out of both sides of your mouth.
No,
respect,
but I have all the respect in the world from them. Yeah. We gave them a tacit invitation to come here by not having a secure border, and they're here and they should stay here. And I have all the respect in the world. But at some point, you can't continue this. At some point, it becomes damaging
and
to the country.
And how do you know this is that point? Who said that we're at that point right now? Who said that? You did.
I think the numbers reflect that.
No, they don't.
We're in
they don't.
Tremendous debt, and you have poverty all over the place.
That started a long time ago. Poverty's been the issue for a very long time.
Yeah. The health, Obamacare, the whole thing's falling apart. You want free health care for everybody? Well, you can't be bringing in more and more indigent people. They're going to take the service jobs. They're going to take the janitorial jobs. They're going to take the fast food jobs, and then the people that are out there.
Why are they going to take them? Why can't Americans?
Because they're going to be competing. They're going to drive down wages.
So win the competition. You're all about competition. You're excited that Donald Trump wants our insurance companies to compete.
At some point, you reach the point of diminishing returns.
And we're not there.
In your opinion,
we make excuses for our people. Fact is, these people come from other countries. They're willing to work. Our folks are very happy collecting a check a couple of times a month and eating cereal in their apartments. It's the work ethic that's a bigger problem.
I don't think in the Rust Belt you have the people who have been displaced because of jobs floating away to Mexico.
Some of those true. Some of those true.
They're not lazy people. They want to work.
You're right. And some of the coal workers too. I agree. And Hillary destroyed that. She destroyed that. There's no question. But to say that it doesn't work and that we're going to lose money in our wallet because folks are coming in, that is a huge stretch.
It's just being stupid, naive. It's being suckers. And it's time to put this country first, in my humble opinion. 1-800-848-9222. Bernie and Sid back after this.
77 WABC.
Back on the Bernie and Sid show on 77 WABC. Man, 2 hours flies
by, man.
Flies by.
As T.O. says, get your popcorn ready.
T.O.
T.O.
Terrell Owens.
My man.
He's a good boxer, right?
Excellent boxer.
So anyway, speaking of boxing, tonight, the big debate, 9 o'clock. Will you be watching
of course.
In real time? Are you going to tape it and watch some stupid
No, that I'll never do. I always watch it in real time, but when I get bored, I'll go watch a little Cubs, Dodgers, Rangers, and Red Wings because it's going to be much of the same. But
how are you going to get bored? This is going to be this is a culmination of a year and a half of politics.
He says the same thing every single time. He's boring.
No, listen, tonight is going to be different.
It is? You swear?
Tonight is going to be some. All right. There's going to be some smack talk.
He's going to trip her.
Might be some physical altercations.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Because I'll tell you what, even with Chris Wallace, he suffers no fools.
Coming off the ropes.
Chris Wallace is like one hell. He's like a Spanish inquisitor to this guy. Wow. He doesn't let you off the hook. And I guarantee you, he and Trump will lock horns.
I may watch this naked tonight.
Oh, please.
Oh, God, Sid.
Hopefully the kids will not be in the room. I mean, give me a break. Hey, Curtis and Kubi, they're up next. They're all over this stuff. We'll see you guys tomorrow, man. After the debate, we have the best analysis right here.
Balance of Nature's fruits and